Okay, so before we get started here, I'm using Photoshop today, but you can do this on Photoshop Elements. The only thing that's not going to work, but Nicole, NBK, she did in the freebie, and you have two sets of brushes, one that works on Photoshop and one that works with Photoshop Elements. Of course, the one that works with Photoshop Elements, you're not going to have the stamp tool, pattern tool, because Photoshop Elements doesn't have that. So I want to thank you first so much, you guys that are here in the room. And I received an email today, I think someone from my newsletter, saying, I don't use Facebook. Can I join? I would ask Nicole, because I know she's here, to take a look at the group, because some people are asking to join the group right now, and I just approved one, but to keep a look on that. So I guess people are joining the group to watch it. So if you don't have Facebook, you have the room, and we're just going to see how we're gonna, I think we're gonna do, like, you can request a recording if you don't use Facebook. We just wanna have this exclusive for the group, for the people that appreciate and support NBK Design. And we thought this would be a nicer place to have everything in one place for you guys. So some things before we get started. As I said before, if you enter right now, I see some people are entering right now the room. It's weekend, my family's home. There's a lot of people use internet here. And last time when I did this for scraps, my platform here, it fell twice, I think because of the use of the internet. So if that happens, don't worry, you stay where you are, because I join, because the system here, it puts me back. So when I go back, you're gonna see me fine, okay? And later I'll put the whole recording together at the group, okay? Actually, the platform here was very nice. They actually don't break the recording, so that was nice. So just if something happens, hopefully nothing's gonna happen, but if something happens, stay where you are, don't go anywhere, I will come back. Okay, so as I was saying, we have, let me put here the preview. We have this freebie here, and let me know in the chat here, again, all panelists and attendees, if something happened, then, or if you have any questions. Again, if it's breaking up for you, go out and back in, and if you're in Facebook, refresh your browser and things like that, or try another browser, then you're gonna be able to hear again or something like that. So we have this freebie. I'm gonna give you a coupon at the end of the webinar. And this freebie has 3 sets of brushes for you to try out. And one is a pattern stamp tool brush. Photoshop Elements doesn't have that. So, but she did something similar to Photoshop, you know, just the brush ABR file for Photoshop Elements. So, yeah, if your is a little blurry, is the internet. So you have to check. Maybe, you know, internet on your side, on my side, it fluctuates. So it's gonna depend on that. So, okay. So because of that, I'm gonna use Photoshop here, but you can use everything else in Photoshop Elements. And we have some styles. So instead of using the pattern stamp tool as it is in Photoshop, you can just change to using a style instead, and that would be the same. So I'm going to use the freebie, and I'm going to use, of course, some other things from NBK Design. So what I'm going to show today is what you can do with the styles and use some blender brushes here. And she actually did a nice watercolor blender here on this freebie, so you can try out. And we're gonna do a little bit of effects and have some kind of a double effects with 2 pictures on the layout. So So I started here with one of the pattern paper. And first, let me show you what I'm going to do here with this picture. We're going to prepare this picture here. My picture is blurry. So when I took the picture, I didn't realize that I was walking, and this was not with my phone. This was with my DSLR. So I was walking, and with one hand, I took the picture. So I think that's why I didn't stop. As I was walking, I took the picture. And I think it's blurry. And I think with pictures like this, we think, oh, I cannot do anything with this picture. It's bad. So I'm going to remove myself here. I don't know if that's going to make it faster, but just so I'll come back later. So, but we can definitely use this picture, even though it's blurry like this. So first thing that I want to do is I use a plugin that is free from Google. Google bought it. It's called, what is it called again? It's Nikon, right? Nikon. I know people there use that. What's the name again? Nick, yeah, Nick. So it's free from Google, but Google bought it, not sure why, because they decided they're not going to do updates. So pretty much one day this is going to stop working. As with every plugin, it's going to stop working because it needs to be updated, because the software that we are using with, it is being updated. It's going to change some things, and they are not. And there is actually tutorials now of people trying to teach how can you do the same effects with Lightroom, because eventually this is going to die. So I don't use it as much because I don't want to be dependent on it. And that's why actually I'm getting more and more far away of this kind of things, because I rely more on apps now, because these things, they have problems, you know. So I used on this picture, this one here called Silver FX Pro. If you don't want to use this, if you don't want to download this plugin, you can just use the black and white adjustment layer here in Photoshop. So we have here black and white, and you can just play with it. But I really like the things that this plugin has. And the one that I chose here was the high contrast smooth. So I put on all here, and I use the high contrast smooth, which is the number 4. Okay. So I use that, and then after you click that, then you have something like this, which looks not very good, right? It doesn't look good. Because after I did the filter, I went to in Photoshop, and I went to stylize and oil paint. So you put in black and white, and you can use oil paint. Probably you can do something similar on Photoshop Elements. I don't remember the top of my head, but I can put in the comments later. So, and then you see it doesn't look that good, right? But believe me, it's gonna be okay. It's not supposed to be clear. It's supposed to be like an imagination, okay? So what you do after that, we're gonna prepare 2 pictures. We have this one, and then we have, you make Control-Command-J, you make a copy of it, and you're gonna go again to filter, stylize, and find edges. Okay? then we end up with something like this. So you're gonna save these two pictures there. Okay, so we have that. Sounds good? If you wanna do this, you don't have to do this. This is just I wanted to do for my layout. It really depends on the internet. If you seem blurry, it depends on the internet. I cannot control that because I don't know your internet. So I have just to keep going. I cannot control everybody's internet. So it depends on the speed. Right now, there's nobody at my house. So my internet now is really fast. Because I heard they're just leaving. So I asked them to go out a little bit. So the way I started here, I have this other picture that I took yesterday. We went out yesterday. And what I did, from the mini kit, I have this, the free kit, we have this out of the box frame from the mini kit, which has this nice watercolor, watercolor kind of mask. So this mask, we have two masks here. We have the first one on the bottom and we have the top one. I put them in a group. You don't need to do that, but in Photoshop, I put them in a group. And in Photoshop Elements, at least Photoshop Elements 15, you can do the same. You can put them in a group, but they don't call group, I think they call stack layers. I wanted to also point out, if you are watching this and you have your browser open, if you have Facebook open, if you have many things open, and you are here on the platform, you're gonna see things, because you have many things competing with this. So if you have backups, working, if you have Dropbox working, I would close everything because everything is competing with your internet. So if you want to watch this, take your time and turn it off everything else. If you watch this on Facebook, turn it off everything else than the Facebook. So that would help a lot. I have everything closed right now. So, and okay, so we have here, if I put in a group, then I can, change the size and all that. So let's start it here, because I already are 12 minutes in. So we are going here to put on the first mask. And I've been receiving many messages of many people when they enter in the group saying that they are beginners. So I know for some people they know that, but some people don't know that. So we're just gonna have the size here. I just wanna clip first to see the size. If it goes inside, create a clipping mask, Alt Option, and you can see that. I just wanna see if it's a good size, the edges, so I can see that the edges there. Okay, now that is a good size, I'm gonna give a Command Control J and put on the first mask, the top mask, and do the same thing and create a clipping mask. But what happened in my case, because of my picture, the frame here, is going on his shoulder. So I don't like that. So the way I'm going to fix that, do not use an eraser. Do not. You should never use an eraser. That is not a good, digital thing to use. If you want to be a good artist in Photoshop, don't use the eraser. So we are going to use a layer mask on this frame. Why? Because if I make a mistake, I can go back. If you use an eraser, then you have to go to history and you have to do all that. And Siri, I didn't say your name. Siri's thinking that I said her name. And no, eraser is not your friend at all. Why you want to have more work to go to history? And no, it's not a good, I would say it's not a good habit to have. So I'm gonna actually here to use the free brush here from the kit. You can use a soft brush, round brush, any brush. And I'm just gonna remove it here from his shoulder. But remember, we have a frame and we have a shadow, so you have to remove from both, okay? So I'm right now just removing the frame. I'm not removing the shadow. And layer mask on the shadow. And then we can remove the frame there. And if you're thinking, what the heck I'm using, because your brushes are different. If you load on Photoshop, you're gonna have your brushes right here. I use a plugin, and that's why you see my brushes here. Okay, so I will do a better job here, but do a better job. But again, I don't know your picture. I don't know what you're gonna use. Maybe you're not gonna need to do that. But because of the way they are here, I had to do that. So I wanna close this. I wanna make them even smaller a little bit because I'm gonna have the other picture. So it's nice because they are in a group, I can change things. Yes, Nicole is on Facebook. So if you're watching this on Facebook, ask her questions there. Because it's too much for her internet to be with both open. Otherwise, she's not gonna watch well, okay? Okay, so now remember we did that picture, and now where's the fun begin with the brushes here? We received so many questions about brushes, blending, and we really want to help you to use the brushes because look, they do the job for you. If you know me for a while, and I know some people here do, you know my style. I am an artsy through and through scrapper. I don't do clean. I don't do layered, things. No, I'm an artsy scrapper. This is what I like to do. So I think my layouts are not complete if they don't have brushes or masks or styles or things like that. So we want to help you if you want to accomplish that same thing. And it's easier than you think. And it's just a matter of practice and good tools. But the good about the brushes is that if you use brushes other than masks, the thing amazing about blending with brushes is that you have the power of your blending. You are not constricted to a mask. You have the power to do the blending that you want and create amazing pages that people are going to say, wow, this really is like you are the bomb in Photoshop. Okay? So this is what the brushes will do for you. So remember, we have that picture. Well, we have both pictures. So let's start playing here. I'm going to bring the black and white with the oil paint to the layout. Again, you can follow this on Photoshop Elements. If you need any help later on Photoshop, on on Photoshop Elements. Let me know. I can do, if it's really hard, I can do a little video for you later explaining anything that you need about the brushes there. But I want you to remember that we have more than 120 videos now on NBK channel. So make sure you watch that. And again, we are doing every Wednesday on the Facebook group. So I have that. Now that I bring the other one, and then I can close this. Remember, we have our, oh, brought the wrong one. Sorry. Remember that we have our, I would say, normal picture, which is this one. You can use that as well on top. I'm going to talk about this later if you want to, have some color. But usually what I like to do is a color picture with a, with a black and white picture. What the heck? I keep bringing the wrong picture. You know what? Let me do what I'm going to do. I deleted everything on the other one because I remember something. Don't do what I do. So, okay. We are going to start creating here. Sorry about that. I think it's better this way for the beginners. We have that. We are going to create a new layer underneath. Or you can be above, you can, change. And just for the sake so you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to put a solid color, but you don't need to do that. It's just so you can see what I'm doing. We can delete this later, okay? So we are going to create something to mask that with the pattern brush tool. And just so you can see the pattern brush tool in action that comes with the freebie, let me be my, layer. So this is the pattern stamp tool. And then you are going to start to brush. Look at that. So you can use this in your background. I love this kind of strokes. It's like paint strokes. You can do bigger strokes. And right now, I'm not going to use really the colors, just so you can see. I'm going to use the color later. But it doesn't matter. If you are masking, it doesn't matter the color really. So I'm going up and down, just moving, no care what, no care what I'm doing. And I created this. Okay? So when I did it earlier, I created this one. And the difference on this one is that if you pay attention here, she has one called in the freebie, Mary Bright Mixer Smudge Sponge. And when you click that, it's going to open the sponge here. And what the sponge does, it creates or more saturated color, or you can saturate the color, which means you can make the color vibrant when you brush on top. Or you can desaturate the color when you brush. But I don't think you're going to see as well in screen, but you can play with it at home. If you saturate and brush on top, then you're going to get, I chose saturate. So you go to the menu there and choose saturate, and then it becomes really vibrant, as you can see there. Can you see the difference? So this is without the sponge tool. And this is with the sponge tool. But the nice thing about it is that, again, you have the power because it is in the form of a brush. Okay? So I hope that's clear. So I'm going to use this mask. So now I can take this color here. So what I did here, we are just going to mask this, Command, Control, Alt, and I masked. So it looked like strokes, right? I'm going to create a group now with my brush mask, with my black and white, and with my edges picture that I did. I'm going to create a group. I'm going to name picture 2. You don't need to name, I just want to make it easier for myself. I'm going to drag now to the layout. And I'm going to bring all the way to the background. And of course, we're going to make it way smaller. And we have to adjust things, as we can see there. You don't need to do what I'm doing. I really don't believe layouts are about copying what I'm doing, but I do believe you can use what I'm doing and do in a different way. So that's the goal here. You don't have to do the same layout that I'm doing. You can just use, for example, this technique here and do your whole picture just with this. You can do whatever you want. I just wanted to take this and use in other ways, okay? So hopefully you're just going to have some ideas for this. So let me bring my mask here. Again, we created this mask. You paint it, it has your own marks. It has your own strokes. Okay? So I can go back. I think he needs here to show my husband here more. No problem. You can just go to the brush, click again on the pattern tool, and we can make smaller brushes here on top of him. Don't brush things on just one way. Just like random brush strokes. Okay? Like that. Sounds good. And are you guys with me? You guys are so quiet. Let me take a look. Thank you, everyone that is in the room. I see a lot of people here. Just seeing who is here. I see a lot of familiar names. That's nice. Thanks for spending your Saturday here with us. I really appreciate it. Sharon's concentrating. Yeah. Okay, so we have now the edges, remember? So let's bring that to the lower here, underneath the mask that you did. Just so I can see, I'm just gonna hide here so you can see. So we have it here. So we're just gonna need to do some adjustments, okay? Again, edges, filters, all this you have in Photoshop Elements. I will later, actually, later today, maybe at night, I'm gonna try to see steps in Photoshop Elements and maybe post for Photoshop Elements users, okay? Oh, you are welcome. You can call me Jana. Don't bother to try to spell my whole name. Yes, absolutely. Yes, Sherry is saying that she can, she's a clean scrapper. Sharon, you're not totally clean. You do some clean layout sometimes. I agree. Yes, they can be. Yes. Valerie, pattern brushes, stamp tool brushes, they don't exist in Photoshop Elements. So what I would do is to use the brushes with styles, okay? We cannot see everyone that is in the chat because of this platform, because of privacy. They don't let other people see, but you can chat with everyone using panelists and attendees. Some people just wrote for me. Sharon, when you wrote, I could I could just see your picture, because some people don't want the name to show, so the platform does that. It's just for privacy issues. So I think it's because, Nicole, you're trying to see everyone and everywhere and all the things that you have to try to control. Okay, so let's get it going, because I want you guys to get the coupon and have time to enjoy your Saturday. I don't want this to take long for you guys. So let's go back here. And because this is where the fun starts. Well, we got some fun with this mask, right? Oh, look at me. I almost posted in the right spot. So you just now gonna have to adjust a little bit. I see I'm gonna have to make it smaller. I'm just trying to fit here. Oh, I forgot to put the, let me do my spotlight so you can see. So here, I'm trying to just line up his body lines with the first layer. So maybe I have to just smudge a little bit to the side, make it maybe a little bit smaller. After you find the right spot, I would then group them or link them, so you know, you don't have to keep doing this all the time. There you go. I think this is good. It doesn't have to be perfect. So this is good. Then I can later, as a group, I can make it bigger, everything, or smaller, okay? Now the fun starts. Because I want some texture, I'm going to use, you can use the watercolor blender that is in the mini kit, but I want some texture. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use maybe the watercolor, the road trip. There's one here, watercolor with scripts. Yes, watercolor, road trip, brush tool blender, watercolor script brush. So I'm gonna use that. And now my plugin doesn't want to help me. Let me just save this. Yes, okay. All right, it's because I had to accept my transformation. Okay. So now we are going to create a reverse mask, which is simply, you have many ways to do that. You can put your finger on the option Alt and click layer mask, or you can just start a layer mask, which is gonna be white, and just give a command Control Y, and it's gonna reverse, which means it's gonna be all black, which means it's gonna hide everything. So I have, again, the road trip watercolor blender, and I'm using the watercolor script, which has some script, you know, texture together with the blending. And my brush is in white. And I'm gonna bring it right now back some of that picture. And I think I'm gonna create a mask here on this painted mask that I did, because I wanted to remove a little bit of the top here. So I'm gonna, with the brush in black, and just remove it a little bit here. Go back to white. Just saw some edge here. So I'm going to remove some edge here. Black. Yes, Amazon definitely owns me. Sharon, if you want everybody else to see what you're writing, you have to put panelists and attendees, okay? So what you can do now, create a, if you want, I just want some hints of color. So you can create a layer on top, here on top, between the group that I have for this and between, if you're doing the same. But I'm just gonna brush here some colors from the picture with the watercolor blends. Let me see. We have the watercolor gesso. That was a nice one. So Alt, Option, color here from their clothing. You can use any color you want. Just gonna brush here. Blue. My son has a dark blue shirt. So if this is what I did. I just, with the watercolor gesso blender, I just create some colors. And now I'm gonna change the blend mode. We can try color. We can try soft light, which not much, but usually I like to use of this color blend mode. Okay, so can you see it gives hints of color, but because you brushed and it's really soft, and you can always change here the opacity. If you think it was too much, you can always change here if you want. It just gives little hints of color that you control, and they're really soft because the brushes are soft. Okay, I'm not going to go into details on embellishing this layout because I just want to show you techniques. So I'm going to now, towards the end now, show you the styles. So I loaded here the styles that come with the freebie, which goes really well, I'm going to say. This goes really well with Art Therapy Collection. It goes really well with Intuitive Collection. It goes really well with Road Trip. So many collections there that are really great. And I want to start with some color, which goes perfect actually with the colors of the clothing. I started here. I already clicked the style. There is a style number 2, which is the bluish style. I'm gonna go, you're not gonna see details, but because the brushes are soft, I'm gonna use the Road Trip Blender Cloudy Texture. I'm gonna use Gesso Blend, soft texture with Gesso Blend. I'm gonna use that. It has a little bit of very nice texture. Strokes. So the flow here is 23. We are going to change this to normal because I'm not using this with color. So you have to pay attention. If you're brushing and you don't see anything, check here the mode, because these brushes are made for you to paint with color. So if you're not going to paint with color, you have to change it to normal, okay? So don't panic. Nothing's wrong. So I'm just going to brush the texture of the styles around here. Can you see the nice texture? There. Okay. Another one is it has some kind of gesso texture. She has a nice texture here. This brush is really soft, so let me put another one with a more stronger flow. I'm gonna try now the Blender Cloudy Texture Soft Blend, which is the very last one on that. Can you see how it's full of texture? And I'm gonna get the gesso here, the last one on the styles. Change here to normal, remember that. I'm gonna increase the flow. Now you can see here the styles. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna change the opacity of the brush to 78. And don't worry, you are not changing the brush. Every time you click another brush and click back, the brush is gonna go back. But you can, you know, the fun about brushes, you have control. And now I can come here and change the opacity of this layer also if I want. So I just want a little bit of text there. I'm actually going to reduce the fill also a little bit. There you go. Another thing that you can do is you can click here on the effects of the style. And if it's too strong for you, you can also change the blend mode here. Blend mode of the style. So we can change it to overlay, soft light. So can you see the difference now? I can just see the text. I don't see the white gesso. Okay? More style goodness. Now, art therapy. I'm gonna use a map style maybe from the road trip. Can you guys see the map there? Really soft. So what you're creating, you are blending backgrounds. Oops. I'm gonna create one on top of this layer here, the top of the picture. And get another of the map. Não é gesso one. Sorry, I have the first versions of the style, so I don't have all the names here. I just have numbers. But it's from the road trip, the vintage styles. So I'm now coming with the gesso here on top. Really soft. And then you can see this texture here. Very subtle. You see, I don't brush that much. I just drew here and there some textures. Here, another texture coming here, a gesso texture here. Can you see here on this side? So I know we have to hold on, not to do too much, which is hard. Believe it's really hard for me. I really love the styles. They give such a nice, you know, paper scrappers love to say that they wanted the feel. They wanted the feel, that's why they use paper. I pretty much have all the feel of real texture with the styles. I don't miss that at all. Look at this gesso there. Look at that. So, to me, the base is ready. Okay? So, what is left to do on a layout like this is now it's your turn if you like layered elements. usually what I would do here, just to bring some more interest, because right now everything is a little on the same spectrum of things, I would then bring now some artsy bits and pieces to kind of blend in between, on top, underneath, and then bring some 3D elements, some word strips, and some things like that to finish. I will finish this layout so you can see the layout, you know, the finished layout at the group. But I wanted to show today the versatility of the brushes and styles, and how can you use them, and how can you start building that background for your layouts, but a background that you have the power to create. It's your brush strokes that you created there. And you can do some more elaborated backgrounds. You can do some more painted look at backgrounds. But you can do very blended backgrounds. And you can also take the same things that I used here and try with the paper. There is some more 2 papers in this mini kit. Awesome papers on all the collections. You can blend the papers. You could also use here, if you go to the group and watch the tutorial that I did this week about page blenders, you can then include a page blender here behind your out of the box and blend a more colorful paper, but not be so strong. So you can use all this together. Sharon is saying the artsy bits and pieces are addictive. Yes, they are. But I think sometimes what we see about the questions is that you guys want more idea how to use the styles. I mean, we have so many great styles, such a great price. We want to make sure that you take all full advantage of them. We don't want you to just buy and, you know, be stuck with them because you don't know how to use or you don't have extra ideas. So we want you to really, really use what you are using your money with. And then I also appreciate the ones that have been posting at the group. Some of you have been posting at the group amazing layouts, and we so appreciate that, to show other ones that are starting or that wanted to learn more what you guys are doing with the tutorials and with the supplies. So I hope this gives you some ideas to go further. I would love, love, love. It makes my day so happy when you know, do something on your own with a webinar or tutorial and create something totally different, or create something similar, but that I was able to help you guys. So please post your pictures. Oh, thank you. Sherry saying she appreciates the layouts. Thank you so much. I appreciate your kind words, Sharon. So let me show you the coupon. You're not gonna see my screen of my computer, but because it's just for Photoshop, but I will open Photoshop the coupon. So this is the coupon for the freebie. We would love to see, let me just grab a sip here. We would love to see how you combine this with what collection. We would love to see how you combine this with other styles and brushes. We would love to see this as a challenge for you. What collection can you use this? How can you combine this? I know most of you have a lot of NBK-Design kits and styles and brushes, so we would love to see how you do that. What collection are you going to use? We would love to see what collections would come really well with this mini kit, so then it gives Nicole more ideas to do more freebies. So if we see that you're using the freebies with the other collections, I think it would, you know, help her to create more for you. Yes, Sharon says she likes the challenges. Yes, and thanks for reminding me that. If you go to the old Scraps forum, NBK-Design has a challenge, and you know, not just the challenges are good, but there is some good tutorials there as well that the girls do it's written tutorials, so if you prefer that, we had one about texture, and we have, there is one going on this week. Sorry, I totally unprepared for that. I will do a better job next time. But on the weekend, it's just so crazy. But we have nice tutorials. Some of them have really short, really nice tutorials for you. So, and you know, there is one, I think, every week or something like this. And you know, just participate. We would love to see. Also, if you are on Facebook group, we highlight now one layout in the gallery every week, every Monday. So post your layouts in the gallery, maybe you're going to be highlighted the group. And if you're highlighted in the group, and we say there in the forum, you were highlighted at NBK-Design group, join the group. You know, join the group. We are trying to do exclusive things for you. And we, you know, we wanted to talk to you guys and form a community, and that's what we want. So again, if you're watching this as a recording, it's going to be there for you. Don't worry about it. But of course, live is more fun. So don't worry about it. This coupon is going to be there, so you can download this later. Because I know some people are telling, I cannot go, you know. Don't worry, we know. Saturday, we know it's hard. So, but we welcome. We had so many of you here today. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I know in the East Coast is a little later for you. So, without further ado, we are closing the hour here. So I hope you enjoy. Go grab the mini. We can help to see what you can create with mix of the collections. Post in the group. If you have questions, let me know. If you are Photoshop Elements user, let me know. Write your questions at the Facebook. If you're on the webinar, because I know some people wrote me that they don't use Facebook. There is a person that she doesn't use Facebook, and I said, we always have the room here. And you can email me anytime, and I can do maybe a short, quick video for Photoshop Elements. But pretty much everything here is, other than the pattern brush tool and the oil style. But you can use watercolor style instead of the oil that I used in Photoshop Elements. You can use all the other artistic styles that Photoshop Elements has. It has some great ones. I just did one last time with the cutout and the watercolor. Watch the previous webinars, watch the Wednesday's tutorials, and go to the NBK Facebook page. On the left menu, click videos, and you're going to see all the lives that I did on the Facebook page. And I'm going to continue to do that, but with some more simple tips. We wanted to the group to have more complex videos, but I'm going to start on the fall. Guys, I'm waiting for September. I have so many ideas, and I wanted to show you guys, but I'm waiting school to get started. I cannot do many live videos with my son at home. So I can wait for fall to get started. Follow NBK, and you're going to have a lot of education. Please, if you have a request, let us know. Although we have in the Facebook group some polls for you to vote, you know, scroll down. Unfortunately, Facebook groups don't have a way to organize these things, but scroll down. Anyway, I think I hope I didn't dumped a lot of information on you today. But I so appreciate your attending here today. And in the name of Nicole, we appreciate you as a customer, and the group, all the group and all the girls. We are here to help you. If you have any questions whatsoever, we have very talented ladies there. And I know some people send me some pages, but please post at the Facebook group. I think I'll actually open an album for this. We would love for you to post at the album. I'm going to post right now, and you can post your layout in the album. Just go left menu, photos, and then choose albums. We also have collections albums. If you made any picture with a collection, post over there so we can see, and other people want ideas for collections can see. The recording is not going to be ready now. They have to render. It takes some time, but it's going to be in the group, so you can watch anytime. Okay? So happy weekend. Thank you so much for all of you attending here and talking to us. So in the name of NBK Design, we appreciate and we hope you have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you.